Hello, everyone, and welcome to the end of 2025's podcast. So, this episode, we're going to be ranking the 20 things that we actually discussed during this year, kind of figuring out where we rank them and everything else. And then we're going to talk about just kind of how the year has been overall and what we might be expecting for next year. So, Mike, overall, how did you feel about these 20? In general, obviously, we're going to go in more detail as we talk about them, but. Um,
I feel like the list got kind of, at least for me, it kind of got split into like two, where it was like the first half was like really difficult to place on the bottom, and like the other half was really difficult. I think like the top five is basically like a lock, where it's like it's definitely like these ones.
I
But then
hope we
like
have the same top five because I feel the same way.
I mean, I have a feeling that at least like the top two are going to be the same, whether like things move slightly.
Yeah, no. I definitely agree with you. For me, I'll tell you this: it was the top five and the bottom five were easy, and then in the middle, I feel like I could switch them all,
I
and
think
I would still be okay with them.
I think for most of this stuff, it's like aside for a certain few where it's like especially in the top, it's like everything can kind of move around slightly depending on how I'm looking at it. So it's
Okay,
like I think kind of like I think the top two are the top two, top three.
I,
I think the top three are the top three. um,
we'll find out. I mean, my whole thing is I feel like we got the same.
let's
Um,
put it like this. At least for me, where it's like I
My
keep
top three
adding it.
were easy. My top three were easy. Like I got those immediately.
I mean
Um,
I can't even say the top three were easy because I think
well, let me rephrase it this way: the number one spot I felt was number one, and then everything else was kind of like I think it belongs. I think my top five are definitely the top five,
yeah.
meaning like overall. I don't know if they're in the right spot except for number one, in my opinion.
I think I'm the yeah.
Okay, so let us start with number 20, Mike. What do you have on the bottom of this year?
Yeah. What was the last place? Is that what you asked?
Yes.
I think last place for me is Crypto Saves the Day.
So do I. Same. Can you hear me?
I got I had a I had a refresh, so I missed whatever you said.
No, I said same.
Oh, okay, good. We're on the right start. All right. I mean, for me, it was just like it. You know, it was a short. It was something fun, but it wasn't like anything super impactful, and it wasn't like like I'm. Oh my god, I can't wait to see this again, or what's more to come. It's just a little fun thing that they released.
I felt the same way. I felt like although it was nice to watch, it had no impact for me for this year. Like it was
Yeah,
kind of just
it's
like,
like
eh.
if it didn't come out, it's like I didn't lose anything from watching it.
Yeah. I think my number 19 might be controversial.
Oh boy. All right. So, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I want you to go first to feel a little bit better about myself, depending on how this goes.
All right. My number 19 is Tales of the Underworld.
Oh, mine
Uh,
was The Last of Us Part 2.
really? Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
surprised yours was as low as it was.
I will talk. So you talk about yours first, then I'll talk about mine.
Um, I think Tales of the Underworld. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't anything super crazy. It wasn't like oh my god, it's something that we're expecting just to give a little bit more into the universe. Give whether
Hmm.
it's giving us more on a background character, giving us more into the expanded universe. Like I said, it wasn't anything super crazy, but like it wasn't terrible. So
No, I agree. I will tell you that I am not that far off from you, but I did rank it obviously higher.
yeah, all right,
For me, The Last of Us, what I did was I really looked at this list and I really thought about not only like how did I feel about it like at the time, but also how do I feel about it now? Do I still feel the same way as I did when I first watched it and everything else? And I felt there were a lot of things that kind of missed for me in this season. Although there were parts that were good, I want to say that pretty much everything. And it's going to sound stupid to say, but like I had to be very nitpicky for a lot of this stuff because I felt like a lot of them were kind of close
yeah,
together. So I went with the fact of like
yep,
I didn't like how they did certain things. Now I don't know what they did in the game. Obviously, you told me, but like based on visually what I could see, it there were certain things that I felt like they did for no reason, and other things I felt were kind of like I don't want to say rushed, but like weird. Like it was just weirdly done, in my opinion, for a show.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously, my thought process on what the show was.
No,
Like
exactly.
you said. So, I mean, uh, if so, I'm gonna piggyback off of you. My number
Let's hear number
18
18.
was Last of Us Part Two. So,
Go right ahead.
you know,
Actually, you know what?
um,
Before you go into that, I'm just going to tell you my 18th. It's actually Captain America 4.
it's actually really funny because we're just like,
We're one off.
yeah.
So
So,
anyway, so
like,
sorry. So you were saying about Last of Us 2. My apologies.
well, no, I mean, like you said, it didn't. I felt like a lot of it was rushed. I feel like a lot of it they kind of just like threw certain things in different places. As someone different from you, as someone who played the game, I think it missed the mark where there was just these key factors that they some things you can change and make it work, and I feel like aside for a few big moments, most of it kind of missed for me. Um, so like it wasn't awful, but I had so much more expectations for it that it missed the mark for me.
That's
Um,
fair. I mean, I ranked it lower than you, so so yeah.
which I'm surprised, like you said, like I'm surprised because I knew you enjoyed it so much. So like I was
I
expecting it to
did.
be higher. I thought mine was going to be controversial.
No, I think my whole thing was it's like when I looked at all the others on this list, I felt like it was much lower than all the others. Not to say it
Yeah,
wasn't good, because everything was pretty much good this year. There was nothing I thought was horrible this
yeah,
year.
there was nothing bad. Yeah.
No, so this was like the big thing for me where it was like, no, I did like it, but unfortunately I liked it less than all the others, right? So
Hmm.
for Captain America 4, this one was the big thing I had to think about too, because I do like the movie overall. My issue had to do with the fact of like, and I haven't rewatched it since, which is part of the problem, I think, but they ruined it with how they did the story in the sense of like making it a big deal that Ross was Red Hulk when we already knew he was Red Hulk.
Yep. Yep.
And I know we discussed this after. No, yeah, absolutely. But it's like I had to take time to really kind of digest it, literally the whole year, to kind of
Yeah.
digest it.
I think it was. I think of like it was probably like 3 weeks ago where you finally were like, you know what, you're right. They messed this up, and I'm like, wow.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I have to really like sit and think about it because, to be fair, did I enjoy the movie? Yes.
It was a great movie, but the
I will
way that
state
they
though, but you're
advertised
absolutely
it,
no. They ruined the one thing where I felt they could have very much alluded to, and they
yeah,
were just trying to get butts in seats. That's all they were trying to do. And
absolutely.
that to me ruined the story enough because they felt like this big build up to him being Red Hulk when in the first trailer he's Red Hulk.
Yep. No, it really absolutely missed the mark on that.
Yeah.
Like it went back to the whole we had a time frame of where trailers for games and movies were very misleading in terms of like they made it, they uh were leading the story, seemed like the story was going to go in a different direction. And I feel like they took this trailer, these advertisements for this, and they basically went back to that. Like they weren't like we knew that he was going to be this character. It's like, well, why don't you like? It should have been a surprise. That
Yeah, or at least like I'm okay with everyone like assuming he's going to be Red Hulk.
assuming
Obviously,
is fine,
that's
but
fine. I mean, to be fair, would I assume it? Yes, obviously. But
yeah,
my whole point I'm making is just the fact of like you showed it in the trailer and then you made it the biggest plot point of the movie,
it was
and I was
it
like,
was
well,
like
we
going to
already
be a surprise. Yeah,
we already know it's happening, but now it's like, when is it happening?
yeah,
Um,
and I feel like this is going on with like directors and whatever they're
mhm,
nervous that the audience doesn't have the attention span to enjoy a surprise anymore. So, and
I
I know
guess.
that I mean I know that you're one of those ones that don't want all your answers up front because you hate cliffhangers, you hate being left in suspense. So like obviously not to this extent that they what they did with this movie, but like I feel like they kind of went in that direction and made it
No, I
even
think the
worse.
only, in my opinion, the only thing they had to address in the trailer for this movie, I felt, was the fact that he was playing Ross.
Yeah.
Like, show a trailer of like him being like somebody going up to him and being like, "Hey, you look different. Oh yeah, I shaved the mustache. You know what I mean? Like have that
Yeah.
scene be you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, I'm fine, because it's the only thing we cared about, really. Because realistically, that was the only thing that we didn't, because we knew he was going to be a main character in the story. Although it was announced that it was going to be Harrison Ford, the idea was to kind of have that in the trailer instead of it being like, oh look it, he's Red Hulk, and
Yeah.
it's like, well, yeah, fine, but like,
Yep.
you didn't have to do that.
Absolutely. No, I
So
completely agree.
my number 17 is actually Tales of the Underworld.
Okay. All right.
So I will tell you this. I like the story overall. I didn't think there was any problems with it. I just didn't think it was that impactful. So that's why I put it above the other two, because I felt like I had more problems with the other two than I did this.
Yeah.
And that was
It
pretty
was
much
a
it.
short.
I mean,
It was a short story. I mean,
exactly. It wasn't super impactful. It gave us some backstory, but like to me, it wasn't the worst in this year. I mean, I know you didn't think it was either, but I mean, like it just wasn't. It just definitely was on the bottom. That's all I
Yeah.
can say.
Yep. And
What was your
obviously,
number
like I said,
17?
we're
Sorry.
flip flopping. My number 17 is Captain America 4.
Oh yeah. So we all right. So we had the same bottom four. It was just in a different order, which is interesting.
Yeah, pretty much. Like we're right there.
All right. So anything else you want to add about Captain America, or that's pretty much it, right? Because we already discussed it. It was more
No,
like the
no.
marketing was
Everything
ruined
you
it.
said is what I. Yeah, everything you said is what I think.
So what's your number 16?
I think number 16 is going to get controversial, and I think I'm going to make you mad with this one. So, my number 16 was Daredevil Born Again.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Mine's Eyes of Wakanda.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm curious of why you put it so low.
I think looking back, obviously, like you said with Captain America or with The Last of Us, while watching it, I enjoyed it. But looking back on it, and as we got to the end of the season, as I've told you 100 times, I hate seasons that are just there to set up the next season. And that's what this was. It felt like there was really no reason for this to be two parts. They could have just, as they were originally planning, make it one big thing. And it felt pretty rushed, where a lot of these new characters that they introduced, we didn't really get to know them. We expected to care about them, like Matt's new girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Don't remember her name. Don't really care that she was involved. You know, these new characters that the police, the guy that used to be in the police force that now became Matt's friend, and all these new characters.
Yeah.
You know,
Matt's investigator.
yeah. So it's like all these people that they introduced, and it's like we didn't get any build up to care about, invest in them. So I felt it was rushed. I felt like, the way it ended, just meant to set up season 2. And I know I told you before.
I can't disagree with you. You're right.
And then obviously, like I told you before, where they're talking about Punisher not even being in season 2. So it's like the whole point of him showing up for that one scene in season 1. I'm just like, what was the point of that? He's just there just to create interest. And
no, that's fair. So I will be honest with you. I took that like the Punisher piece out of it because for obvious reasons, I tried to focus on the season as a whole. And for me, I do agree with you that it lacked. But my issue was it was good and then kind of dipped for a bit and then came back.
Yeah.
I agree with you that it could have been done better. No questions there. I'm just stating I thought it was higher. If it makes you feel better, it is. I don't know what to say if it's significantly higher. But I mean, it's going to be a little bit before I talk about it. But it definitely wasn't. It wasn't the best Daredevil season. I will say that for sure.
Yeah.
It was definitely a great piece to bring back. Don't get me wrong, but it definitely could have been a lot better. We agree there. So for Eyes of Wakanda, the reasoning why I put it as low as I did was mostly due to the fact that it was not. It really didn't add anything to the MCU as a whole, right? That's kind of how I took it there. But it was a nice little story to kind of add things together. And I'm trying to think of anything else. There was nothing. I don't think there was anything inherently bad. I think it was just my own preference where I wasn't. The short stories, although they are nice and all, I think they always fall lower on the list for me personally.
Yeah.
Obviously that might be different. Let me make sure I'm not lying here. No, I'm not. Okay. But you get my point where it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's just a little bit of that. However, I thought it was good. I thought it was lower on the list for me. Now, what's your number 15, Mike?
Number 15 for me was Star Wars Visions Season 3.
Well, guess what, Mike? We're back on it together.
We're
Number
back on
15.
track.
Yeah, we're back on track.
All right. I mean, I can imagine it's the same with you. Like, it was great seeing all these new stories, great seeing the
some continuations,
returns and whatnot. It's good expanding on the universe and using more people's imaginations.
Mm-hmm.
It's great seeing what, like I said, expanding off of the imaginations, where it's like the lady with the arm that was just lightsabers. Like, seeing all that kind of stuff is awesome. It's not like it's something that is super impactful. So, like, if it were to go away, yeah, it would be upsetting. But it's like, it's not something that's like, oh my god, I wish we had this.
That's fair.
At least for me.
No, I mean, my reasoning for this is the same with Eyes of Wakanda. It's short stories, it's nice and all, but I thought it was better than Eyes of Wakanda personally.
I'm gonna be turning my headset off for a second. Battery is dying. Gotta change the battery.
No problem. So my big thing was just the fact it was short stories, and it's just kind of because of that was the reason why I put it at number 15. For myself, anyway. I mean, like I said, we kind of said the same thing. It was good, but it was definitely something that was just kind of nice to watch, but it really didn't add anything for the new time. But I'm actually very curious on Mike's number 14, just because I'm curious about what that could be. But we're gonna have to wait a little bit of seconds for Mike to plug back in, which should be rather soon, to be honest. I'm kind of impressed. Interesting. Okay, well, I can't answer that call. So no, I just basically said the same thing in the sense of like, it was nice, it was great and all, but it just didn't really, to me, like make it to the top in my opinion, just for that reason. But I am curious about what your number 14 is.
Number 14 was Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Ooh, interesting. So I will say that you're not that far off from me, but I went Skeleton Crew.
Okay, all right. I think at this section we're kind of like, we're gonna be. It's gonna be the same thing where it's like just different orders.
Yeah, I think my number 13 might piss you off. I'm not sure, but definitely where I have Spider-Man, I don't think it's gonna hurt your feelings at all.
Okay. Well, for me, Spider-Man was, I enjoyed it. It was a great story. I was just so baffled by the release schedule, and
okay,
again,
I didn't take that into consideration. To be fair,
it was a consideration for me because I think at that point we had so much stuff to watch where it's like you could expand it out a little bit, not do these weird releases. It was a great show.
Wasn't it 2-3-3-2?
I think it was 3-2-2-3.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, but either way, it was still weird.
Yeah. It was good. It was a great take on the universe. Obviously, this is season 1, so it's just starting. We're gonna get more of the universe, and then as a whole, then I can really rank everything in this show. Obviously, like I said, this is just introductions to all this universe. So
I'm just gonna say my piece on Spider-Man, just so when we get to it on my rankings, we don't have to go into too much detail. Yeah, I think the story was great. It was it was a nice, fresh take on Spider-Man. And it's hard. We talked about this, just like with My Adventures with Superman. It's hard to get a fresh new take on something, and this is one of them. And I thought it was well done, especially for a first season. It introduced a lot of characters without being too overwhelming, which I thought went really well. It also introduced some main characters that we're so used to, but kind of a little bit in a different light, which I also liked. So I definitely did enjoy that piece of it. But I do kind of agree with you. Like it felt a little chaotic at times, and because of that, that's why I didn't like crack into the top 10 for me. Yeah. But it wasn't. It definitely I thought was one of the better ones of like the bottom half, I guess you'd say.
Absolutely.
But for Skeleton Crew, I think for me it was a nice show. It was just kind of for me it compared to everything else. I was trying to figure out how did it impact me, right? And because I enjoyed all of them from here on out, there's not a single thing I didn't enjoy. There were obviously things I enjoyed more, but for this, it was just kind of like, it was nice. It was obviously more kids-esque focused, but that was the point of it. It's not that, like, I'm not going to deduct points for it, but it was just one of those things where it's like, because of that, it made it a little bit more campy, which kind of a little bit diminishes the story just a bit, because they do have to make it sort of kid-friendly.
Yeah. That's fair.
But that's a very like I'm being very nitpicky.
Yeah, I mean, I think for a kids show,
Oh, it was
it
very good.
it had a lot of dark moments for what it was supposed to be.
Yes.
So, I remember watching one of those episodes, and we're just like, I this is supposed to be a kids show, excuse me. So, um, you know, I think it did try to cross the boundaries to keep some adults intrigued.
And I think it did for the most part, but I think overall, compared to everything else, it just didn't go higher for me.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fair.
But will I watch it again? Most likely.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not anything bad. It's not horrible or anything like that. So number 13. I don't know how mad you'll be about this, but I put Peacemaker season 2.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm not that upset about it. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not super far off from you. Um,
No, that's fine. The reason why I put this down here was because I felt like the season, like, but minus the final episode, I thought the season was great, and that final episode just derailed it completely for me. And I was just kind of like, well, that sucks. So, because
Yeah.
at first I thought Peacemaker was going to be a lot higher for me, just because it was like, oh, this was great. This was like a great buildup. But then I realized the buildup never went anywhere. And it kind of was just like, by the way, we're all done. And I was like, oh. And
Yep.
I have to remember that feeling because that's the last feeling you get of the show.
Exactly. No, I mean, I completely agree. It was a fantastic season, and then the last episode derailed everything. I mean, the last episode is very important, and I mean, I know it's kind of controversial for you, but it's how I felt with Agatha all along last year. Like the season
No, that's
overall was fantastic, and I think they messed up by swapping the last two episodes. Um,
I have to, but and we've talked about that. I agree with you.
yeah.
Um, I still think it was great, and I don't think you said it wasn't great. I think the idea was it just messed it up a little bit, and it would have been better for you if it
Oh
had
yeah.
been just one switch. And to be
Yep.
fair, I think you're absolutely correct. But no, for me, it was for very similar reasons. It was the final episode for me that actually derailed it to put it at number 13.
Yeah.
What was your number 13? I think I forgot.
No, you didn't. So my number 13 was Eyes of Wakanda.
Oh, okay.
So, like I said, we're close. We're right there.
Yeah.
Same thing. It was a great show, great shorts. I liked getting the expansion of the Black Panther universe, going from the past and then to the future. I
Yeah,
mean, it
definitely
did.
Wakanda's history was nice.
Yeah, and then obviously, even though I know you said it doesn't really tie into the MCU as a
It
whole,
sort of did,
it
yes.
did. It gave a little backstory of how uh, what was his name? Michael
Killmonger.
B. Killmonger. Thank you. How his character kind of came to be, in a sense.
Yeah,
Um,
and how he's needed to protect Wakanda forever,
yeah. So
which is such a weird thought to think about.
right, but no,
I
I
mean,
know it wasn't like super crazy. The animation was a little bit different, but I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the different takes on the animation.
the only other thing I want to say too was the aliens that were attacking them confused me because they were nothing like the aliens we've seen already.
Future. I mean,
Well, no. It was supposed to. Yeah, I get your point, but the idea was for me. That's what threw me off. Was like an alien invasion came in, but it was an alien race that we've never seen before.
yeah.
So it made it seem like it was Thanos' army, but Thanos never had those. Um,
I mean, I didn't really take it as Thanos' army. I kind of just took it as a new threat that even Wakanda couldn't handle.
well,
Um,
no, the idea was because they didn't team up with
the
Earth.
rest of yeah.
They were spotted down below. All right, so number 12 for me is Spider-Man.
Okay. Yeah. Look at like I said, bouncing up and down.
Yeah.
My number 12 was Skeleton Crew.
Okay. Okay.
So
For me, I mean, we talked about Spider-Man. It was just the fact of like, I felt like it was a great beginning, but it was just the beginning. That's all it was.
yep.
For you, Skeleton Crew, same thing in the sense of like it was a nice kid's story, but it was a kid's story.
Yeah. It was a nice new take on the Star Wars,
Yes.
not just seeing the Jedis and all that stuff. It was well, we still kind of had a Jedi, but um, you know, not only just with the lightsabers and blasters and everything, it was kind of mischievous.
hmm
Um,
So my number 11 is Daredevil.
all right. Yeah.
And it's for me it was the dull middle, but I love the ending to get us ready for what's to come. that's kind of where like I kind of had to think of it as like let's think of the season as a whole, and I thought the middle was kind of blah. You know,
Mm,
they kind of just they started off great, and then it kind of fell off a little bit, and then it brought itself back up, and then it gave us an ending that I thought was to get us ready to for what's to come in New York, and I was actually excited for it. I
yeah.
understand you get with the cliffhanger and everything else, but for me, this one I felt like worked for me anyway.
Yeah.
But that's why it's number 11.
Yeah, I mean, here's like I don't mind cliffhangers as I just said a little bit earlier.
No, but you
I
felt like
it's
this was
just
just a build up to another season instead of this being its own season.
yeah. Um but all right. Yeah. No, I mean as I already gave my input on it, you gave a little bit on yours.
So what
Uh
was your number 11?
my number 11 was Peacemaker season 2.
Okay.
You know, same thing and fantastic season. Like I loved every moment of it until the ending. And then it's just like what is this? And then obviously this is kind of like breaking the fourth wall where it's like if we had another season of it, then
If we
it's
were
fine.
confirmed, yeah, if we were confirmed already that there was going to be another season, we would not be.
It wouldn't be a big deal. But the fact
I
that
think
now
it
we're
would
saying
probably
that
be higher on my list, to be honest with you.
yeah, and the fact that now where there's he's saying that we possibly might not have a season 3. So if that's the case, it's like okay,
Then what
now
was the
it's like
point of it?
that ending was just such a disappointment. Um,
Agreed. So what is your first number in the top 10?
my top 10, number 10 is Ironheart.
Oh, interesting. Mine was Fantastic Four.
All right, all right. I didn't know where like honestly placing these top tens like outside of the select
The
few.
the top, yeah.
I'm like I don't really. These all can go kind of in any order for me.
I'm gonna agree with you that for me, I think the next one, two, three, four. I think the next four are like interchangeable. Like they could literally be
Yeah.
any one of these, and I wouldn't. I could change them like a million times, and I'd be happy with it either way. But for me, for Fantastic Four, it was nice. It was a nice build up and everything else. I felt like this is going to sound very strange. I felt like the risk wasn't there. As weird as it sounds. Don't get me wrong, Galactus being there, he was great. He was excellent. I think for me, my biggest issue was they, and this is always the thing I have a problem with, but this is not just a movie thing, it's a comic book thing too. My issue is when somebody dies, they immediately get brought back.
Oh yeah.
I'm okay with people dying and coming back later. I have an issue when it's immediate.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If you, it would be okay if we didn't know she died, she didn't take her last, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then she just went, you know what I'm saying? I'm fine with that. But we saw her die
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then get brought back to life. I felt that kind of ruined it a little bit for me.
I can see that. Yeah.
And again, it still was a great movie. I mean, it's top 10 for me still. Don't get me wrong. I'm
Yeah.
just stating like that key piece there knocked it down a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I can agree with that. I think for me with Fantastic Four, I know we talked about this. I kind of goes to the extent of taking the risk, but in a different direction, where it's
Mhm.
like now we saw Fantastic Four. We saw at the end of Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four shows up. How did we get from there to there? So
And we
now
never
it's
got
like
that answer.
exactly, and it's a bunch of mystery. So you know, it's like okay, we had the thoughts of like Galactus actually won. Well, clearly he didn't win.
No, agreed.
You know, so it's like now we have even more answers of how. Okay, now how do we get to over here?
So
You
I
know?
hate saying it this way. I think I would have liked the after credit scene better if it was just them building the spaceship to go,
Yeah, even that's fine.
and
Yeah,
we wouldn't have questioned anything. Would have been like, fine, that's perfect, excellent,
yep,
because we don't need any more than that personally. But you bring Doom into it, and it's like, well, then how do we get from there to here? Because Doom's already there.
yeah. You gave us a question in a movie that's supposed to be a follow up to the, you know, technically a follow up, and
Yes, and we have more questions because we didn't even get to the point that we were already at.
yep, exactly.
Um,
So, all right. So now, Ironheart.
yeah.
Great show. Great show. I didn't really know what to expect going into it. I knew the gist of it. You know, Tony Stark fangirl wanting to make herself, give herself a
Make a
legacy,
name for a city.
want to be remembered. Honestly, huh?
Want it to be iconic.
I'm sorry, wanted to be iconic. But
It was
You
just a
know,
big tagline.
I
That's
just
the only
because
reason why I
I
said
think
it.
it was just because I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't know, it was a middle show for me. Where now it exceeded my expectations. If I had gone into it saying like, oh, I expect this to be a great show, will it hold up? Comparing it to the other shows that came out, I think it just kind of fell a little bit less than what was above it, I guess. Like
Interesting.
I didn't really have anything wrong with it. It's just, um, like I said, I think the other shows I just preferred them more.
I will say this. I feel like first off, we're not that far off. I'll tell you that right now.
We aren't always.
But I get but I huh? What'd you say? Nope, I lost him again. We'll get him back in just a minute. You back now? You
I
back?
mean, I think I'm back.
Okay. Well, no, you didn't say anything. You were just waving your hands. I'm like, are you back? Okay. So for me, for Ironheart, it was one of those things where it's like it exceeded my expectations, but I don't think I had high expectations to begin with. I said it from the beginning that I had issues with the whole idea
Mhm.
of magic versus technology because it didn't make sense on paper. However, they did make it work, in my opinion, which is why I had it higher on the list than you. But my number nine, I don't know how you'll feel about this, but I went with Creature Commandos.
Okay. All right. I mean, my
Which
number
which one
my
number
nu-
nine?
my number 9 is Fantastic Four.
Okay, okay.
Um,
I I mean, my whole
like
thing
we
with
said,
Creature
for
Com.
me, for Fantastic Four, it was great.
But what? What was so
No,
funny?
it's just the connection is driving us. Our
Oh,
connection
yeah.
is just driving us crazy.
Correct. So anyway, with Creature Commandos for me, I thought it was great. It was a great start to the DCU. I mean, it's the first one to make it there and everything else, so it was kind of one of the big things for me. I just thought about like the impact it had. I don't think it hit me as much as all the others above on this list, and that's just me personally. However, not much to complain about. You know what I'm saying? Really, I mean, really, from here on out, there's not much to complain about. It's nitpicky stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean, I kind of agree. I mean, it had its moments. It had its
Hmm.
a lot of jaw dropping moments.
Yep.
Great show. It the thing a really big thing about it is it had us on the edge the entire show.
We
You
didn't know
know,
what was real. We didn't know
yeah,
what was real.
we didn't know where it
Um,
was going, so that was fantastic.
Agreed. And you ready for my number eight?
Go right ahead.
Harley Quinn season five.
Okay, all right.
And for you?
Creature Commandos.
Okay.
um, why Harley Quinn?
So here's my thing. I had to think about all the ones above this, right? And like impact wise, right? I felt like all of the others had more of an impact than her, but this was such a like this was a big season for Harley Quinn. I can't say it was the best season for sure, but it definitely was the best season in a while. We've talked about this,
Yep.
right? It was so well done. They did Brainiac in a way that I was not expecting whatsoever. They did
Hmm.
it so well. They brought in characters that were very nuanced but like still had some fan base and everything else. I thought it was incredible because you thought Brainiac was the bad guy, but like he's really kind of not. It was just the perfect amount of funny and ingenious writing, I have to
Yeah.
say, for Brainiac as a whole. Clayface, all like everyone had their moment to shine.
Hmm. I agree. Absolutely.
Um, like I said, the only reason why I think I put it lower than a lot of the others was just for straight preference.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
mean, nothing against it. It just I felt like it wasn't as good as the other seven that are on my list.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. That is fair.
And I'm sorry, you said Creature Commandos for the same reason as what we talked about already.
Pretty much. Yeah. Fantastic. I mean, just like as you said, like compared to the other shows, I think I preferred the other shows more. So,
Okay,
or
fair enough.
shows and movies.
No, I agree. Number seven for me is Ironheart.
Okay. That one, I think that is our biggest difference so far.
I think you're absolutely correct.
um, for me, my number 7 was Invincible season 3, or whatever number we're on.
No, no,
Sorry.
no, no. That's no, no, no. You're correct. You're correct. It's season 3. That's hilarious. We're one off there.
Oh, really? Okay.
So for me, Ironheart was number 7, just due to the fact of like it was not what I was expecting. I expected a lot lower, just because it was technology versus magic, right? And
Yep.
to me, on paper, that doesn't look right, right? But they did such a great job with it,
Yeah.
that I was very much impressed by, and the fact that even though it has been known that he is playing Mephisto, we finally get him. Finally.
The fact that you were like, he's not showing up in this one is when he finally shows up.
I was finally like, he's not coming. They're ruining it for me for everything. They were not even going to get him. It's going to be awful. I'm going to be so depressed. But to be fair, for a while, I did think we weren't going to get him.
I know. They were really leaving, like dragging it along on you, and you were pissed.
What was it? Wasn't it episode 5? Because it came out in 2 groupings of episodes. And
Yeah.
so like, I'm like, all right, I can understand him not being in the first half, fine. Like, that's fine. And then the 4th episode comes, I'm like, there's no Mephisto. Why are we talking about Dormammu? Why are we talking about Dormammu?
They literally they dropped Dormammu, and you lost your mind. You're like, they better not.
Yeah, I wish you would have. I wish I would have texted you during it, because I was literally like, "This show sucks. This is the worst show ever." And then I see him like, "Greatest show ever."
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it was.
No, it was just well done. I also thought it was an interesting. The reason why I put it above all the others was it was an ending that was where the hero loses, and that is the most odd way to have like an hero introduction. Like, this is the origin story, and they lost.
Yeah.
Like, how often do we've never seen that? I don't think we've ever seen it.
I don't think so.
And
We've
I think
only
that was
seen it in
just
the big
so.
one.
Huh?
I think the only time, at least in the MCU, the only time we've ever seen them lose is Infinity War, and otherwise they've always won.
But it wasn't even their. It wasn't their origin story. It was just like the. You know what I mean? Like, people have lost all like in the past, but it's never been their like origin story.
Yeah.
But no, that's why I put it higher, because it broke the mold for me in it compared to all the others, where everything else kind of fit the mold a little bit. Like Harley Quinn, obviously it's its own entity, but it fit her mold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where Ironheart like made its own mold, and I was happily unprepared for it.
Oh yeah, like I said, it exceeded my expectation. I didn't know what to expect going into it, so with everyone, this show has been in production for so long that it's like, okay, this just has to be a throwaway show. Like, they're just releasing it just to release it. We weren't expecting anything, and the fact that it actually exceeded our expectations was fantastic.
Even with all the pushback and everything else, and it being held back, it still was good.
Yeah.
But yeah. So sorry, your number 7.
So mine, like I said, was Invincible season 3. I can't really say that there was anything wrong with it. It was a fantastic show. Jaw-dropping moments. Was super creepy. Like Conquer was just like Conquest was just very, I'm uncomfortable right now. I don't want to be here anymore. Can we stop? So I'm gonna pretend like I didn't see that. So
that's that image is the one that's embedded in my brain the most.
Yeah,
is from that scene specifically.
It was fantastic, and it's just like, so many things, plots and twists. It was heart-wrenching with us losing characters, us thinking we lost characters, of course Cecil being Cecil finally earning the audience's trust, and then at the very end just taking it away again.
Wasn't this also the Invincible War? No,
yes,
this was not.
Yes. It started as the Invincible War.
That's what it was. And then Conquest came at the end.
Yes. Yep.
And he conquested, let me tell you. I mean, I have to agree with you on everything. I mean, that's why it's number 6 on my list.
Yeah.
It was well done. I just enjoyed it overall. I had no qualms with it whatsoever.
Yeah. Oh, I can't really say anything more to it. It's just like, it was so low because, again, I think I prefer the other stuff a little bit more.
Yeah, and then what's your number 6?
Harley Quinn season 5.
Okay, so our top 5 is exactly the same. Well, let me phrase it this way: the things that are in the top 5 are the same.
Yep.
So I'm glad we're on the same page there. So Harley Quinn, you put higher than all the others. What made it make it to 6 for you?
I think it was I think the fact that they were able to come back after having such a disappointing 3 and 4 for me added so much more to it.
Okay.
I just love the Harley Quinn universe where it's fresh take on all these characters, twists, while also taking in from the source material,
Hmm.
Lena Luthor and all like going into Brainiac's homeworld,
Yep.
um, all of these things that, like you said, aren't normally talked about in the greater universe that we're able to spotlight.
I mean, I
It's
agree.
hilarious while also being serious at the same time.
Yeah, they did a great job of like combining the two really well.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where I think it was one of those preference things where I think it just etched it out a little bit. Like
Hmm.
as we've said, like all this grouping that we're having, it can go either way. Like I can't say like this is definitely locked at number 6 because it's just like maybe one
No,
moment I'm gonna say like, oh, Invincible is better, you know?
no, I agree too because I'm also like I'm hearing what you say about Harley Quinn, and I'm like, should I put it higher? But I'm like, when I look at it, it's like I could have rearranged those grouping of five and still would have been happy with it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And I don't. I think realistically, like I said it out of just like preference at that point. But I get your point. Like it was really good. Like I was very impressed with it, especially with having somebody like Brainiac, and then they did for us to feel something for Brainiac was so big in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
Um, and that was definitely a big piece. Now, what was your number five? What breaks the top five?
All right, now this is where I think we're gonna start getting annoyed with each other. This is how
I'm
it
going to
always
tell you right
goes.
now, there's one thing, if you say it, I will end this right now.
All right, number 5 for me, Marvel Zombies.
No, that's fine. That was also my number five.
Okay, all right, we're on the same boat right now.
No, so my whole thing was I felt like it was easy to figure out which one were the top five in the sense of which ones did I feel were the most for me, right?
Yeah, yep,
However, I felt like out of these five, I felt Marvel Zombies, weirdly enough, because it did have a lot of impact on me,
yeah,
was the lower one out of the next four.
I
It
agree.
was it was well done. It was a great story. It was fleshed out. It felt like mini story inside each one, but they all connected right away. So
Yeah,
there was no like, oh, how does this connect? Like they answered the question before the next episode. Even though they released them all at once, they still did it enough where if you watched an episode at a time, you knew how each one connected for the most part, which I thought was excellent.
yeah,
And that's not easy to do. Um, I honestly think it was just came down to, as stupid as it sounds, and it's going to be very weird to say because normally I don't have this like as a preference, but I think maybe the only reason why I brought it down at the bottom because maybe the stories are all like similar wise. Maybe I felt like it was maybe because of animation. I don't know. I don't really have an answer as to why it was lower than the other four. It just so happens that the top four are live action. But Marvel Zombies definitely earned a place where I will watch that every Halloween without a problem.
oh, absolutely. And I think at least for me, I agree with everything that you said. All these heart stopping moments, all the suspense, twists and
Oh,
turns and whatever.
we also got
Um,
to see interactions we never got to see at
yep,
all either. So sorry,
yep.
continue.
But I think the one that will bring it down to this number 5 slot is that this was the first season. So there's supposed to be more seasons. So like now we're going to get more of the story that it's going to tell. So what we got the cliffhanger. Well, now what's to come? Whereas everything else
No,
was
that's
either
fair.
everything else or the
It's a
next few.
continuation, really. I hate
Yeah,
saying it this way, but everything else here was like added on to something else, right? Because I know
technically, yeah.
Superman's technically it's well, because Superman is technically a continuation of the DCU. Weirdly enough, you know what I mean. So it's like everything else was not necessarily a direct sequel, but it's already been tied into something. Marvel Zombies was the first thing by itself,
Hmm.
at least out of this
Yeah.
list. So that's why it's number five. So what's your number four?
Number 4, Andor season 2.
My number four, Thunderbolts.
Really? Okay.
I know. I know. If you would have seen this list, you would have said there's no way Scott made this. And weirdly enough, like it's not it's just one of those things where it's like so I gotta hear Andor 2 being fourth.
I think I think Andor season 2 was a victim of falling under that I preferred the other ones a little bit more. I think one of the things
Oh, okay.
I think one of the main things for me, I loved how they did the time jump, and I understand it, but at the same time, there were some things that happened between those time jumps that I felt didn't get entirely answered. So that kind of left a little disappointing taste in my mouth.
Okay.
Um, it was like there was such a, they were trying to tell so much in such a short time frame, which I understand what they were trying to do.
Mm.
Um, and one of those things too is where it was going to end. You know what it was leading to. Um,
Yes. No, and we knew that going into Andor season 1, let's be honest.
yeah,
So I mean it wasn't that crazy. I will say I put it high, well, obviously I put it higher than you. But I was kind of I thought it was just so well done. It did a excellent story because what it did was and how it felt to me, right? Was as if I was watching, this is going to sound very stupid now that I say this out loud, but I don't care. You know how like when you watch like a history channel or you talk like the it is like a reenactment of like a historical event where they don't go into detail of every little thing. You
I
know what
can
I'm
give you
saying?
that. Yeah,
So like that's kind of how I took it as, and that's why I also liked it too because it
yeah.
had like the aspects of like this is what happened back in
I want to
the year.
clarify that I'm not saying I didn't like it. It's my number four.
Oh no! I'm not. No, no. These top five are literally top five. They're on the top five
Yeah.
for a reason. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. I just was surprised you didn't put it higher on the list. That's all. But then again, you also were surprised you didn't put Thunderbolts higher on the list.
Yeah. Yep. So what's your
So
reasoning for Thunderbolts?
so here's my thing, right? I thought it was well done. The story was nice and everything else. I just felt that the impact, weirdly enough, was more impactful to me personally in the other three than this one. Still a great movie. Still was phenomenal. There were very little things I had complaints about, like nothing. Like this was the only time I had a problem with the CGI was weirdly enough when he was Sentry, not the Void, which is bizarre to me because you would think
It was one moment that both you and I had said like the CGI was bad, and it was when
he was fighting the Thunderbolts as Sentry.
yeah, it was when he was fighting, particularly the one that was really bad was when he was fighting Winter Soldier.
Yes.
That was really the only moment. Otherwise, everything else was fine.
No, but that's what I mean. Like when you think about the Void and what he is and everything else, you're like, oh, that would be where the special effects could screw up, and that was like the best special effects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like they did such a phenomenal job with that and again, it's not that they did bad with Sentry at all. It was just they purposely like showed him as like a joke because he is in this particular thing, obviously.
Yeah.
But no, it was well done. I mean, I got excited for it. I think for me, the reason why I got bumped down a little bit was just because, I think I just like we kind of know where the other three are. Well, let me phrase it this way. I felt like the others had more of an impact for me, and that's pretty much what I wanted to say on that one.
Yeah.
Now, your number three.
My number three is Thunderbolts.
Okay.
Your
my number three, Gen V.
Oh, okay. All right. Surprised. Let me say my piece on Thunderbolts.
No, because we've already talked about Thunderbolts. Go right ahead.
So my thing for Thunderbolts, and I even saying it right now, I kind of want to even bump it up to number 2, but I'm leaving it at number 3. Thunderbolts for me, it just hit so much more personally for me, just with like the constant the story it told. Like I left that theater in tears because it just like the talk. It was so well done. The talking about the mental health, talking about not feeling good enough, having self-doubt, not
corrupt government,
everything. So like I can't say a bad thing about this movie because of how like I was able to relate with this movie so much that it like I left the theater, like I said, I want to go see it again.
Can we just admit that the top 5 for us were just the best of the best, and literally it's I personally think, all right, for me number 1 is obvious, but for me
I don't know right now I can't even say
I'll say this, I'm less confident maybe now but like it hasn't been said yet, so I feel a little bit better. So like my whole thing is just like I get your point.
I mean, let me put it like this. I think you know what my number one is, and the fact, and I don't know what your number one is. That's the thing. So
That's also true. That's also true. But yeah, so for me, it was Gen V was just because it was phenomenal. It was well done. My only hiccup on it, and this is a very minor thing, is just that we didn't get to see more of like they went in a different direction than I thought in a good way, but like they built up the guy being like the biggest bad and then they eliminated him. Um, but at the same time, I get it because the idea was to push the agenda forward for season 5 of The Boys. But they also made it where it was its own complete story at the same time. So
yeah,
that's why it's also still higher on the list. Um, I mean, it was also like every time, the more I say it, the more it's like it's sounding like I'm making this number one, even though it's not. But it's like, I think they all have a chance to be number one. I think the reason why I didn't was just because I felt the other two, in my opinion, were better.
yeah.
Um, and there was nothing, like I said, there was only one bad thing, and I'm not even confident to call it a bad thing. It was just one critique I have. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of say the same thing. I mean, I think with Gen V, the direction that what they did with such an extreme adjustment that they had to make, they did a fantastic job. As I mean,
Yeah.
they lost the main actor for their show. Um, so the quick thinking into the change that they chose to do,
And
it was fantastic.
agreed, but we also don't know how much they actually changed either. Like,
Also true.
to be fair, don't get me wrong. I'm not stating that they wanted him to die in the show. I'm just stating like other than his death, like you know what I mean. Like they could have had Andre in that, and it wouldn't have ruined anything. Obviously, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
So it's like I'm curious to see what actually changed specifically.
I mean, the big thing is that they were able to add his death into the story.
No,
Like,
agreed,
you know,
agreed. And they did such a great job with it. It was
yeah,
well done. It was perfectly done. It was a lot of just hitting in the feels too, of just like, oh, by the way, like your son died and he was a hero, and it's like, that just hurts. Don't say that.
yeah, really.
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
you're number two.
my number two, Gen V season 2.
Okay, number two for me, Andor season 2.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. You're having my heart stop, man.
No, so I will say this. Andor for me felt like it was the most impactful just because it showed it, and obviously we don't talk politics too much on this for obvious reasons, but like I felt like there were so many parallels to the
Oh my
real
God.
world to Andor that
Yeah.
I was like, this is disgusting. When I say that in the best way possible to make the show better. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like not for what's going on in the world, but like it made the show so much better because it's a fictional show that was written obviously before all this happened, and like it parallels us so well, it's disgusting.
The thing about Star Wars has always been that they're good at bringing the real world into
I
the
I will agree
fictional
with you, but
story.
I think this was the first time, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Star Wars did this at the time where it was actually happening. You know what I mean? Like this was like meaning like these events came up around the same time. I could be wrong. Maybe there's something else.
When did the New Hope come out?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. New Hope.
1977. So no, the Cold War. That's what this.
Thank
That's
you.
what's the Star Wars was the Cold War.
Nope,
Um,
that's perfectly fair. No, but you get my point. So it's like this show did justice to the original story behind Star
Yeah.
Wars, where it also worked out too, where it was like they were predicting what would happen, and what's weird is they predicted it and were correct, which is disgusting.
yeah. Yeah.
But that's why I put it number two. I mean, obviously we know what number one is. It is obviously Crypto Saves the Day. Oh, I'm sorry. It is Superman.
Crypto did save the day. We're not gonna, take away from the good little boy.
That's why I said it too, which works out perfectly. I find it funny that we began this countdown and ended this countdown with Crypto.
Right.
It was I think it was the best, obviously this year. It was so well done. Even though we had high expectations for it, it's still like succeeded them, in my opinion.
It hit those marks. It and one of the
Even
big things that I know that we were both nervous about this, and we were saying this before. It's like it's tough to make a Superman movie that people like. It's tough to give one that doesn't make him feel too overpowered. Tough to make one
mhm,
make him relatable. James Gunn did that. He hit the
he
nail
did
on the
it.
head.
No, they did an amazing job of it, and also like adding politics into it in the sense of being like, and this is something that doesn't get talked enough in the movies. It gets talked a lot in the comics, but not in the movies, where it's Superman does something to save people, and because he's good, because of how he looks, he's considered American, and it's like, well, America's interfering, and it's like, well, is he American? Like, it's one of those weird things
Yeah,
where it's like, does he speak for the U.S. government? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And that's always been, and that was one of the big things, obviously, in the movie. Obviously, they used it to their advantage, or Lex did, to kind of make it so it was like, well, he's doing bad things, for this government. We need to think otherwise.
They
Um,
were also doing a really good job bringing the fact of immigration into it, which
yep,
Superman
yep,
isn't. You know, he is an alien. He is not born in the U.S.
yep.
He is technically an illegal immigrant. So
Illegal alien.
literally an
Um,
illegal alien.
I know, that's why I said it. It's like, it's not trying to be, disheartening, or trying to use that word painfully, but he legitimately is. Um,
But
I also
it talks about how just like you said, to bring in the real world into a mode of fiction that still works and is relatable. Everything going
it
around in the world right now, they talked about it, and
no, agreed. They
they did
100%
not
did.
hold back.
No, they
Um,
did not. I think the only reason, like, weirdly enough, right? Um, this would have been a good movie even without Superman. Weird as it sounds, bear with me on this, right? Meaning, like, the topics and story and everything else, right? That's more of what I'm getting at.
uh-huh.
But the fact that you did it with Superman, who is literally considered a god, right?
Mhm.
He is literally a god among men, right? And the fact that you made him relatable, the hero and the villain all at the same time, because at one point he was the villain, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They did such a great job of kind of combining all that together. And it just was beautifully told. There was not a single thing I didn't like. Like, the things that I didn't like, we were supposed to not like. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was
Yeah.
nothing. Like, everything was perfect. All the people that they added, they gave us enough backstory about
That was my
didn't
next
ruin
thing.
it.
I know one of the big things for you was the
And
extra
it has been.
characters. So
No, it had, but they did such a great
you know,
job where it was like it didn't ruin anything. They gave us enough of a backstory to kind of get a better understanding of what was going on. I mean, they didn't
mhm.
dive into everyone's backstory. You don't have to. You just have to give us a gist. You know what I'm saying? And they did, and I
Yeah.
thought that went really well. But yeah.
And I mean
Oh, fun
the
fact!
other
Do you
talking
know
about the
that
other characters, everybody
we
fit. Yeah.
you know the leader of Bulgaria? Bulgaria? Who was the bad guy? The bad leader with the crazy hair.
Uh, I I I forget his name, but yes.
You know who I'm talking about? The one that was working with Lex.
Yep. Yep.
So he is in Wonder Man.
Oh, is he? Oh, really?
He's the director.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
So he's the director of Wonder Man.
Oh, yeah. He was talking about how he wanted to make this movie or this show, whatever. Yeah,
No, he
yeah.
wanted. Well, no, he was like, I want to remake the movie because it was remember, it was the fake. It was the fake trail. Well, it was like a fake
Yeah.
documentary, but it was the
Yeah.
trailer. And he's like, yeah, I really wanted to do this because we've only seen him in the past, and we need to have a new, fresh look on it.
Yeah.
This new franchise, Wonder Man. Which I thought, it's just funny to see him in a completely different character.
Yeah.
Completely different.
No, that's true. I didn't it didn't even click in my head.
No,
That's
because he
funny.
looks so different, but I had to look it up to make sure because he
Yeah.
sounded the same, but he looked different. It was weird. But no, Superman top of the list. I mean, I'm wondering if Supergirl's going to be number one on my list next year. But
We're
then
gonna have to
again, there's
see.
also Doomsday, which is going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
That is true.
So like, I can't say for
I
sure,
think
but
I don't remember. I think this is the first year we've had a same number one.
I think this was the closest we've had.
I mean, this is
Two.
definitely. I think this is definitely the closest where we've all like. Normally, we're like a little bit off. I think this is the one where we've actually nailed the head on the coffin, like almost every
No, I
time.
think we got the top and the bottom exactly correct, and I think it's the first time we've ever done that.
Yeah. I don't think
We,
we've
ne-
ever
we
had a same number one. I think because
no, I think our number ones have always been close, but they've never been
yeah, it's been like one
the
and
same.
two, but otherwise,
Yeah,
like you said, close.
no, and it was funny because it's always been DC and Marvel. And this time it was like very clearly on, not in a bad way, but it was clearly Superman, in my opinion.
Hell yeah.
Obviously,
Yep.
you agree. But yes, so let's do a couple of little questions for Mike.
Here we go.
So,
you
here's
with
my
your
thing.
stupid smile.
What is our highest viewed video that isn't a short? I have to make that very clear.
That doesn't count, obviously. Oh man, I haven't looked in a while.
I don't want you to. That was the point. I wanted to see if you could take a guess.
It was either I don't remember because I remember making a comment. No, because I remember texting you about like I was shocked because I think it was Peacemaker's the intro the Peacemaker's introduction. I think it was either Peacemaker or Superman that was our top.
So I will give it to you. It was Peacemaker season 2 premiere, and it was at 117.
That's yep.
Okay, so here's another question for you. Okay, what do you think was the biggest or the most viewed? How do I want to phrase this? Because this is gonna. I will say it this way. I'm not going to look for the episode number because that's ridiculous. I'm going to ask you, what do you think is the most? Which video had the most viewed of our challenges for games?
Oh God.
Because you'll never get the episode number, so that will give it. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not expecting that.
So which challenge got the most views? Not which like we're not.
So
like,
which video has the most views technically, but which challenge is it? So like I'm not looking at the whole challenge as a whole on which one had the most views. I'm looking at the highest viewed video out of all of the challenges, meaning like of all the challenge videos total, and then I'm looking at just the top one, and then what challenge is it?
I think it was there was one that had like I think one had like 15 views just randomly, but our challenge videos don't usually get that much.
So I will agree with you that it is lower than obviously 117. They don't get as many views, but what is your guess?
I'm gonna say maybe maybe the ending of or the begin. No, let's go with the beginning of Poke Rogue for Gold and Silver.
It was Gen at the end of, or close to the end. I don't know if it's close to the end. I think it's directly in the middle. Gen 1 Poke Rogue of episode 22. It has 31 views.
Oh, is this like overall, or are you talking about just for this year?
Oh, I'm sorry. Overall, I apologize. That's on me.
Okay. So I was looking at it for this year. Okay.
My apologies. That's on me. That's on me. And then my question for you is, what is our biggest short?
I don't remember which one it is, but I know it has over 2,200 views. I think it was.
You are correct on the number of views. I'm proud of you.
Oh man.
That honestly, I was expecting you to get. I'm surprised you remember that and not what it was.
I've been looking. I'll be honest. I look at the shorts all the time because I'm just curious to see how high they can get.
Yeah, once I think it's after like 3 days, it completely stops.
And no, I was going to make a comment that you said that after it peaked last night, we were talking about how it peaked at 700 something.
It went up again. No, I
and now it's up to 1.2K. And I was like,
I noticed that, and I was like, oh, I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, I was like, it goes a couple of days.
The question, aren't we?
I very much am. All right. I
will tell you that you're correct on the number of views. I'm proud of you. It was 2,261.
It does. So on my end, it only shows the in this case 2.2.
No, it shows 2.2. No, I understand. But that's why I'm saying the full number, because I consider that as close to exact as possible. I'm giving that to you.
So I'm going to. I think it was the one before we talked about Raven being a babysitter. I don't remember which one it was.
I don't remember the order I put them out, so I can't even say if I agree with you or not. I think it's in the same batch, but I'm not 100% sure. Would you like me to tell you?
I have to wave the white flag.
Homelander's Power Boost. when we're talking
Oh,
about the
okay,
Homelander.
okay. So I
We were
think
talking about the trailer of season 5
yep.
of final season of The Boys.
I thought that
Uh,
was after. So okay, all right.
correct.
I mean that's not surprising.
No, no,
Um,
it wasn't surprising. I was more surprised you got the number, but you said you look a lot. So just so you know, when we do these questions again next year, Mike, I'm going to be talking about overall of the overall of the series, meaning like of all our videos, not just of that year, just for
okay.
future reference. But continue. Sorry.
So I was right with it being the one before the Raven
Oh, okay.
babysitting. I just thought that you posted that after the Raven one, so that's funny.
Okay. Perfect. So what we've done this year was we worked on. I believe we finished our. Did we finish? Yeah, we finished our Soul Link, our first Soul Link.
We finished Gen 1. We started then
We did the rogue. We did the rogue.
Rogue,
which lasted what, like a month maybe. Mike destroyed it.
I think it lasted like 2 weeks.
No, I think it was actually 3 weeks, to be honest with you.
I'm sorry.
Because I think it was only 6 episodes. But
yeah.
And then we've been in the middle of our Cage Lock, which we've filmed a bunch of it. We're obviously further along in it than what's been aired, but I feel like that will definitely be done this year for sure. We'll be moving on to Gen 3 for sure, and then figuring out what we're going to be doing after that. We're also going to be producing more shorts, which is going to be fun as well, and obviously doing our weekly podcast videos still for next year. But yeah, this year has been much better for us. We gained, I think, 2 or 3 subs total, which is more than I was expecting, to be honest with you. I think the shorts are going to be helping significantly to get people into our content and stuff like that. We'll have to wait and see kind of what happens.
I know you had said that you weren't too comfortable doing the shorts when it's come to our playthrough series. So
I'm going to be looking into that for this year, definitely. But for right now, I still haven't figured it out.
Yeah,
so right now,
I know it's pretty complicated for you. Like, I understand the whole 4 screens thing. You know,
not to say it's impossible, because I told you that from the get-go. It's not that it's impossible.
So obviously,
no, I agree. So it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to have to try to figure it out. It just won't be as easy as I would like it to be.
Yeah.
But that's something to add for this year. I mean, the fact that we even got shorts this year at all was a surprise to me, and I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, no, this was fun.
I'm glad that I came up with it, meaning like I did it before you brought it up.
Yeah, no, I thought that was hilarious that I literally...
Mike was thinking about it, and he literally was like, oh, he posted one. Never mind, we're good.
Legitimately, I had, like, the day before you posted your first one, I had told Steph, I was like, I need to tell Scott to start doing shorts, because that would be fun, and just highlighting us ragging on each other. And
that's definitely something I'm going to be looking into, because you're right. Those are going to be the bigger ones, because they're the most fun and everything else.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait and see. But overall, I'm very happy with how this year went. Our viewership is a lot higher than I was expecting. And in fact, hold on a minute. I'm actually going to do something controversial here.
Oh, you're going to pull up the numbers?
I'm actually going to pull up the numbers because I'm actually curious for myself. Can you still see me?
Yes.
Okay. I just wasn't positive. That's why I'm asking. Sorry. How many views do you think we've had total since we've started our journey?
Oh, because that's fair.
I don't even think, to be honest with you, because it hasn't popped up yet. I'm going to guess, and I think I'm overshooting this still, is I'm going to go with 8,000.
Okay. I wasn't going to go that high. I was going to say maybe like 3,000.
Well, remember, it counts our shorts too.
Oh. Okay. Didn't even think of the shorts.
Oh, never mind. I'm way off.
Yeah, I was going to say, with the shorts, you've posted, what, like 10 shorts?
Mm-hmm.
Give or take about 1,000 per shorts. I'll say, I'm going to go off of that. I'm going to probably say like 13,000.
That's disgusting.
Did I get it right?
So 13.3 thousand. So it's actually 13,301. But that is close enough. I will gladly give that to you without a problem. What was and then guess how many hours we've been watched for this year alone, just this year. Oh wait, this is just this year. Oh, I just did it for this year. I didn't do it for lifetime. Hold on.
Wait, was that 13,000 views this year?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Well, you know what's funny? Guess how much it is total? 14.2. So we've gotten most of them from the shorts this year alone.
Yeah, I mean, I know the shorts definitely obviously helped a lot.
No, definitely. And then our viewership time for total since we've started was 454 hours in 0.1. So I'm actually curious about what
I can probably say that hours, me watching it was about 3/4 of it at least.
Well, actually, no, you got to understand the shorts bumped that up significantly. One of our shorts was watched for like 3 hours, and it's only a 30-second or a minute video.
Oh, wow.
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
That's cool.
So that's 27,246 minutes.
That's impressive.
And weirdly enough, we only got one subscriber this year, not two like I thought. Interesting.
I think, yeah, I remember being at 16 for a while.
We were, and then we bumped up to 17. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how that goes. But no, I thought that was interesting. And so yeah, for this year alone, it was 13.3 thousand. And then for hours watched, it was 199.9. And then just one new subscriber, which we appreciate. But we're going to keep building up new stuff and seeing what we can do there. But for now, Mike, you got anything else for this year? Anything you want to do next year? I mean, I think we kind of, I mean, obviously there's other stuff we want to do, but we can't say for confidence it's going to be this year coming up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as we do this more, you know, you get more into with the recordings and whatever, and
I think I learn a
obviously,
little bit more every time, and that kind of helps us
Yeah.
out to kind of do more things.
and then
for
obviously, I
sure.
know we've talked about one of the big things, which is whenever the time comes, is you know you can start improving on things once you get a legitimate desktop instead of running
Setup.
on your laptop.
No,
So
for sure. And
obviously,
that's going to be the big, and that's
yeah,
going to be the
whenever
big
you
thing.
get your own,
I mean, we've moved in a great direction by having a better mic now, so I sound a heck of a lot better, which has been good. as
yeah, you
well.
do.
No, it's so funny how incredibly more like I can listen to myself better thanks to the mic, and it was such an easy fix.
I know.
It's a little
I mean,
Christmas
I was
present
telling
for
you to do
myself.
that for a little while, and you were just like, "No,
No,
it's
I know,
fine."
but my whole thing was it's like I think for me, I was like in my mind I wanted to get like this specific setup, and then I'm like realistically, why? Like I'll just get the mic and that's got to be more than enough. And that's kind of where I went on that one. But
Yeah.
for now, that's been 2025. Excited to see what's coming out in 2026. We got a bunch of stuff we're going to be watching. We're going to be doing. I mean, we're going to be starting off the year with just rewatches until the end of the month, and then we're going to be getting into the new stuff. We're going to be watching Wonder Man, moving on from there. Obviously, eventually Supergirl. We're eventually going to be doing Creature Commandos probably this year.
Hopefully, early we'll get My Adventures with
My
Superman.
Adventures with Superman. You're right, but I'm not. I didn't add it in because who knows? We're definitely going to be getting Spider-Man in the fall. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff that's coming out that we know for a fact. So I'm very excited for it. But for now, we've made it this far into the video. Please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Otherwise, this is going to be Scott and Mike signing out of the Black Eel Podcast for the last time in 2025. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.